Hi, it's Ike from Groovy Entertainment. Today we got another book to read for you. Today, Book of the Berenstain Bears Go Out for the Team for 1986. So let's get started. Brother and sister bear, who lived with their mama and papa in a big tree house down a sunny dirt road deep in bear country, enjoyed the changing season and the sports that went with them, football and soccer in the fall, basketball and ice hockey in the winter, and their favorite baseball in the spring. As soon as brother and sister felt the first warmth of the spring sun, they got out their trusty ball and bat and gloves and began limbering up for the season. They played pitch and catch and Patrick Batten. Why they even study up on the rules of the game. Pretty soon, some of their friends came to join in the baseball fun. After a while, brother looked around and said, "Hey, I think we have enough for a game. Let's go over to Farmer Ben's back meadow and choose up size." Farmer Ben was a good neighbor. He had been allowing cubs to play baseball in his meadow for years. Of course, the grassy meadow wasn't a real baseball field, so there was a few problems and some special ground rules. There was no foul line, just base path worn by years after years of Cubs running the bases, so there was lots of arguments about foul balls. There was a rule against sliding into second base because second base was a rock, and any ball that was hit into the duck pond in left field was a ground rule. Double in an automatic timeout while they fished it out. But arguments, rocks, and duck ponds didn't worry brother, sister, and their friends. They chose upsize and started the game. Sister had done some growing up since last season, and when she went to bat, she whacked her very first ground rule double. All the Cubs and even the Ducks were surprised. And her knowledge of the rules came in handy when cousin Freddie forgot to touch second base on his way to third. She called for the ball tag second and declared him out. He made a big fuss, but she pointed out that those was the rules. "Isn't that right?" she asked Farmer Ben, who was watching from the sideline. "Right as rain," said Farmer Ben. The game moved right along until Brother hit a ball all the way into the next field, and Farmer Ben Goat got it. Back to back so soon? Asked Papa, looking up from his paper as brother and sister trooped back home. "Yep," said sister, holding up the ball. "Game called off on account of Farmer Ben Goat chewing the cover off the ball." Papa was pretty impressed when he heard about brother hit and sister ground rule double. "Seemed to me," said Papa, "that you Cubs might want to think about playing some real baseball on a real baseball field. It said right here in the paper that the Bear Country Cub League is going to be holding tryout pretty soon. You might want to sign up." "Now hold on," interrupt Mama. "That's a high power league over there, and those tryouts involve quite a lot of pressure." "Pressure?" asked Sister. "What do you mean? You could be against lots of other Cubs, and not everybody's going to make the team," said Mama. "But you both play pretty well, she added, so it's up to you. Won't hurt to drive over and have a look, said Papa. Wow, said Brother, when he saw the Cubs league field. It was a real field with fences and foul lines and real bases and grandstand and everything. And the team wore uniform. Brother and sister signed up right then and there. They got ready for the tryout. By practice again, they practiced fielding and hitting. Mama showed them how to choke up on the ball against fast pitches. They even practiced bunting and base running. But at tryout day drew near, they began to get a little nervous. Try to calm down, said Mama. It's only a game. Besides, the worst that can happen is that you won't make the team. You can't always try out. Well, you can always try out again next year. No, that's not the worst thing can happen, said Brother, looking gloomy. The worst thing that can happen is if Sis makes the team and I don't. I consider that a sexist remark, snapped Sister angrily. Well, not completely, said Mama. After all, Brother is older than you, and he's very proud of his baseball ability. I see what you mean about pressure, said Sister. Finally, the day of the tryout came. There were Cubs all over the field, and league officials with clipboard and sunglasses so you couldn't see what they were thinking. Each Cub had a number, and an official moved around the field watching the Cubs and making checks on their checkboard or clipboard, talking about pressure. Brother and sister were nervous at first. Sister missed an easy ground ball, and brother swung too hard at the bat, missing the ball completely, and fell down on the seat of his pants. But as tryout continued, they both settled down and did a little better. Brother remembered to choke up on the bat. He hit a good single and went to second base. When the fielder bobbed the ball, sister fielded some grounders well, and once she was batting, the catcher dropped the third strike, and she ran to first base even though she had struck out. There was a big fuss, but an official was watching and said she was right. Well, how did you do? Asked Mama when she and Papa came to pick up the Cubs after the tryout. Hard to say, answered Brother. We certainly wasn't the best, but we wasn't the worst either, said Sister. Anyway, it's only a game, and the worst that can happen is that we won't make the team. Yes, sighed Brother. We can always try again next year if we want to. When will you know? Asked Papa as they headed home. They're going to post the results on the bulletin board tomorrow, said Brother. Well, said Papa the next day, don't you think we ought to drive over and check up? I guess so, said Brother. May as well, said Sister. When they reached the field, Brother and Sister ran to the bulletin board. Talk about pressure, said Mama, mopping his brow as he and Mama waited in the car. Indeed, said Mama, fanning herself. At last, Mama and Papa heard a shout as Brother and Sister burst out of the crowd around the bulletin board. We made it, they shouted, jumping for joy. There are 4 teams in the league, shouted Sister. The Cardinals, the Blue Jays, the Orioles, and the Catbird. We both made the Cardinals. Terrific, said Papa. Congratulations, said Mama. On the day of the first game, the Cubs looked elegant in their new uniforms and Mama and Papa sat up from the grandstand. Brother was up to the bat against the Blue Jays. The pitcher wound up and threw a fastball. Brother watched it go by. Strike one, called the umpire. There was no strike, screamed Mama, waving her hat. It was wide by a mile. Call yourself an umpire. Mama, please, hissed sister from the sideline. Calm down and remember, it's only a game. Sorry about that, said Mama. Then she straightened her hat, sat down, and enjoyed the rest of the game. So that was the Berenstain Bears Go Out for the Team for 1986. So if you like, subscribe, share, and comment. Have a groovy day with another video coming out real soon.